guys, it's M. Giant Moon, and I'm here with Achilles. Oh, you decided to come and say hi now. Okay. So today I've decided that I'm going to talk about Bloodlink again, but this time it's going to be a little different. This time we are going to talk about scenes from the book that I did not talk about in the first video because I wanted people to go and read it and come to their own conclusion. And I wanted to give it some time before I discussed everything. So let's recap on this book. It's your typical Lycan and vampire scenario where you have a male Lycan and a male vampire. And long story short, if you haven't seen the original video, hold on a minute. I've got Sebastian here who's... Sebastian, you cannot be up here while I'm trying to do a review, especially if I got one of the snakies. Everyone's just decided to come and join the review today. So what winds up happening is that the vampire and the Lycan wind up having a relationship together, and through complications and jealousy through another Lycan, the vampire gets kidnapped. He gets beat up horribly. He's lost lots of blood. The Lycan is trying to find him. He goes to the father of the vampire and basically saying, I'll do whatever it takes to find him. I'll do anything you want, which it's like, why are you saying that? That's usually a dangerous thing to say. And they do find him. He was in a coma, but here's where things get kind of interesting. They do specify in the book that vampires cannot have children. They don't have the capability of having children, regardless if it's a male or female. They can adopt human children as their own, but they cannot physically have any. That's what the father told the Lycan, and he told him, after finding out that this male Lycan can have a child, said, you are going to carry the first vampire child ever, and it's going to be the child of my sons. You have to take this special medication every day. You cannot miss a doses. So he's doing this, and he doesn't tell the vampire. So the vampire is just thinking, hey, we're having sex nonstop. Nothing different about that. You know, he didn't even take a second thought to it up until he's at one of the bars that, you know, vampires like to go to, and one of his friends was asking him if he was pregnant yet, and he's like, what are you talking about? And then he found out. Achilles, what are you doing? He's being a goof today. I don't know what's going on with him. He's being silly. But so they go through this heartbreaking conversation of he's hoping that the Lycan's not pregnant. He wants to be pregnant. He wanted to get married. He wants to have kids. This is what he wanted his life to be. But instead, he is stuck. I should really unscrew that because it seems really dark in here. Let me see if I can just unscrew this. If you guys probably noticed, hey, I moved my mice, which I did. Let's just unscrew this. Just for right now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, that's a little better. It's not the best in the world. Usually I do recordings, guys, when it's more daylight out, so I've got better light. But I actually got off work early today because it's Christmas Eve. Yay! So I got off work early, so I decided to talk about this review. So anyway, they go through this really touching moment where you almost think the vampire is just going to leave this guy. He's not going to help him. He doesn't care because he suffered a very traumatic thing in his life where his mother was ripped from his arms, and she was burnt alive because she doesn't know who his father was. Yeah. Imagine that as a young child. That's pretty traumatic. And then, of course, when he got old enough, he became a vampire. And the very first thing he did, he took vengeance upon everybody in the village. He went on an absolute blood streak and just killed everybody. He was extremely upset. So for him to be a father, to have a child, it was very new to him. He was more scared than the boy actually carrying the baby. The vampire was more scared, and you could see it in his eyes that he was scared. He didn't know if this was going to kill the guy. He didn't know. And he said, "You're going to have to teach me how to be a father because I've never been one and I never had one." So Sebastian just thinks he's going to be part of this when he knows he's not, but whatever. It is what it is. So they go through the entire pregnancy and it goes really well. The kid starts suffering everything you can imagine, from odd food cravings during different hours of the day and night, odd food cravings. He goes through the morning sickness. He's going through the full 9 months of pregnancy. He does start to get big. He had to drop out of college for obvious reasons, because this is taking place during our time. This is not in like a futuristic place or anything. This, I have to lift him up. He doesn't realize that he could fall the way he's at, where he's at. But so the only time this poor kid can go out is at night to get some exercise, because I mean, how unusual is it going to be to see an actual man, 8-9 months pregnant? It's going to be that's going to raise some eyebrows. So this is where it gets kind of funny and scary at the same time. They run into, well, the Lycan runs into one of his old friends, and he hugs him, not realizing he's pregnant. And then once he kind of feels like something's not right. Well, before he could say anything, the vampire, with his quick reflexes, as we all know vampires have, ripped the Lycan away from this guy and pushed him aside and basically said to him, "Don't you touch him." And when they got home, the Lycan basically opened up and said, "He is my best friend. I want him to be part of the baby's life. I want him to be part of my life. We've known each other since middle school." And the vampire basically said that he was going to go for a walk. Well, he contacted the friend and he met him in a dark alley, and I'm like, oh, this is going to go great. And he basically told the friend, "You have two choices. You leave and never talk to him again, being the Lycan, or I kill you right here, right now." And the friend basically begged and pleaded to let him be a part of this child's life, to be a part of his friend's life. He said, "I'll do anything you want. I'll babysit. I'll change diapers. I'll do whatever you want, but I just want to be part of my friend's life." Hold on 1 minute. I'm going to see if I can get him back situated. Hocus, you can't be a part of this. I'm sorry. He just thinks that he can go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You know that, right? You're going to get yourself hurt. That's why I got to hold on to you. You don't realize that. So, oh, now you realize it. Okay. So they agreed to it, and it was just an absolute wonderful moment. He's with his friend every step of the way through the pregnancy, up until they have to go to the hospital to spend a couple nights there before he actually gives birth, which he does. He goes into labor, but he can't give birth naturally, even though he has the capability of doing it. They had to go through a C-section, which was obviously very, very dangerous, because I don't know why it's not capturing that light the way it should be, but it was real touch and go. He had lost a lot of blood. But he came to, the baby, just adorable, matches both his fathers. And this is where it also gets real touchy, but I'm gonna leave it off at that for you guys because I'm seeing my runtime, and I'm gonna try and talk about another book that I've been reading. I think you guys might like, but hold on. No, I said no. I'm sorry. That's one of my other cats, Hocus. She thinks that she can just. She thinks she can interrupt whenever she wants. But anyway, guys, this is Jahia Moon. And as always, I will see you in the next anime. Bye-bye.